What do we do when we're tempted by something, when we know we really shouldn't go for it, but it's so hard to resist? Is there anything we can do about this? Well, today I want to talk to you about a study that was recently done that might give us a clue on how we can best resist temptation. So you're on a diet and you're in the restaurant and you've been really good. You've had a nice salad, no fatty dressings or anything like that. You've been absolutely spot on, and you're sat there chatting with your friend, and out of the corner of your eye you just catch this thing. It's the dreaded desserts trolley coming straight towards you, and before you can look away you see this massive chocolate cake just staring right at you. Ideally, you wouldn't have put yourself in this situation to begin with. You would have avoided the restaurant or not gone to dinner with your friend, but how are you supposed to know that the waiter was going to bring out this damn desserts trolley right in front of you? And now it's too flippin' late, this chocolate cake is staring at you, mocking you, saying, "Eat me, eat me." Is there anything we can do when situations like this crop up, when just randomly temptations are just stuffed in our face? How can we make sure that we stay on the straight and narrow? How can we make sure that we resist these temptations? Well, turns out that science might again have a good answer for us, and the answer is not now, but later. So what do I mean by not now, but later? Well, one approach, if something is put in front of you, something tempting, is to just say no. But one thing about the human psychology is that if you can't have something, then you want it. We tend to take things for granted until they're taken away from us. Just a very interesting facet of human psychology. So by saying no, kind of intensifies the cravings even more. Apparently, a better solution to this is to say not now, but later. So you won't have the chocolate cake now, but I'll have it another time. I'll have it another day. I'll have it next week. It turns out that saying not now but later somehow somewhat satisfies the cravings. It somehow puts your mind to rest in the knowledge that, okay, if we're not having it now, but at least we're going to have it sometime in the future. It sounds a little bit out there, but there's actually quite a bit of research about this. Scientists did one particular experiment. They had 3 groups of people. They sat them in a room and told them to watch a film and placed this big bowl of chocolate, actually M&Ms, right next to them. So they could just reach over and grab an M&M and eat it. One group was told to imagine that they decided not to eat the M&Ms. One group was told to imagine they decided that they were going to eat the M&Ms. And one group was told to imagine that they decided not to eat the M&Ms now, but they could have it later. So the results were, as you would expect, the group that decided they were going to eat M&Ms ate the most, but the group that ate the least was the group that said not now but later. The second part of the study becomes even more interesting because the scientists took the participants into another room and said, okay, now the study is over, but if you wouldn't mind filling out a questionnaire about how this laboratory is, how modern it is, or whether you like it or not. The scientists then went on to say, you're actually the last person in this study and we have all these M&Ms left over. So help yourself, feel free to help yourself to as much chocolate as you want, and left the M&Ms right next to them as they were filling out this questionnaire. Of course, the sneaky little scientists were lying. It wasn't the end of the experiment. They actually wanted to see who was going to eat the most chocolate under these circumstances. And yet again, those that had said not now but later ate the least. They even ate less M&Ms than the group that had already been eating M&Ms because they decided they were going to in the first part of the experiment. And now for the third part of the experiment. So the day afterwards, everybody was emailed, and the question in the email was, how much would you like to eat an M&M? How much would you like to eat some chocolate right now? And again, the results showed that those that said not now but later were still less attracted to eating chocolate. So in short, the people that said not now but later somehow had less cravings for chocolate in all 3 situations. So it seems that this is a very interesting little trick, a little psychological trick that we can use when we're put in a situation that's tempting us. Obviously, this is the last line of defense, right? Ideally, you wouldn't put yourself in these situations to begin with, but if you do find yourself in a situation where you're tempted by something inadvertently happened and you're tempted by that chocolate cake, for instance, just say to yourself, I won't have it now, I'll have it later. I hope you found this psychological trick a little bit useful. If you did, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you again next time.